In this tutorial, we will see how to generate atypical anchorings in Idea Statica connection. Let's start the model with an HEB 300 beam section. To create a general anchor, we usually use base plate operation. To do this, click on Operation and select Base Plate, specify the grade and diameter and accept. Initially, this operation is not applied because we have a horizontal member. For an anchor joint to be formed here, you must select perpendicular or horizontal from the orientation line. Consequently, I cannot position a foundation block and a base plate parallel to the bottom flange of the beam. To do this, instead of using base plate operation, we need to use manual bolt grid or contact operation, here. But before that, I have to create a base plate. In this case, I open a new operation named stiffening plate here. Now I can define the plate manually. In this example, I will write the dimensions B1, B2, H1, H2 as 250. To locate the plate, I select member in the origin line, bottom flange in the plate line and rear in the location line. Now I have it. I select no weld here, because I do not need it and it is not an objective of this example. Now I can generate the concrete block. To do this, click on Operation and select Bolt Grid or Contact. First of all, I need to select anchors instead of bolts, then I have the concrete block. After this selection, I have an additional field corresponding to this foundation block. We need to select which members will be bolted to each other from the item lines. The software had already selected the stiffener plate by default, and I choose member here in the bottom flange of the beam as item 2, now I have both brown. To double the anchors, I'll write another 50 to positions, now I have 4 anchors. I can also change the length of the anchor here by anchoring length, for example 200. We can select straight, washer plate, circular or washer plate, rectangular from anchor type line. The coordinate system of the anchors can also be either orthogonal or polar. This operation is very similar to base plate operation, except for the foundation block definitions. These parameters related to the material dimensions, shear force transfer or the space between the block and the stiffener. If I wanted to insert anchors only on the plate and not on the beam, I can do this by the same bolt grid or contact operation. I add a new one, I select anchors again, and now I write 1 to items count, which is the SP1. Then I have to tell the software that, instead of being anchored to a new block, I want to being anchored it to the existing block. So is this the new one or existing one? How can I understand? As an easiest way, put the mouse cursor on the block and you will see the name here. Lastly, we need to position the anchor, and that is it. Let's move on to a different example, to see the polar distribution of anchors. I have some cuts here, and to add anchors I select bolt grid or contact operation again. I specify anchors and items count as 2, which are stiffening plate and the stiffener. Now I cannot see any anchors, but if I change the view to transparent, there is an anchor I have. To define properly, first of all I need to change the coordinate system as polar. Then I change the radius as 175.